Many Ugandans lose their national IDs in many ways regularly and are required to pay a fee of 50,000 shillings for replacement. This does not sit well with some nationals who don't understand why they should pay for something issued out by government free of charge. In the same light, the first batch of national IDs is expected to expire in 2024, and citizens are asking themselves why an ID expires, yet one will always have the same nationality. Church of Uganda Family TV got response for viewers about these issues through James Keitirima, a registrar from National Identification and Registration Authority. He says people change over time and how one looks after 10 years is very different from before. He adds that the new IDs will have new technology added to them.
The expiry bit of it, I think people have taken it out of context, but your nationality as a Ugandan does not expire. What expires are the futures, and what we are doing as an organization is to upgrade, to update your data and actually upgrade the national ID to come out better with better security futures. Because we found we have challenges of people forging up and whatever. And I remember we discussed that and we said, even going forward, like you've seen already in the East African member states, that you can use your national ID without even a passport, and you move across the member states of the East African community. So implying that an ID is not going to be an ordinary document. We are rather enforcing it and upgrading it to be a better document that now you can possess, international accepted, you can go through with it at the airport, and therefore that's how important it is. There is nothing that is expiring. Your NIN will remain the same. All your information will remain the same. But what we are upgrading is that the picture you took 10 years ago, practically you can't be the same today. And we are we're giving a new card. And at the end of the day, it's a government initiative where they are saying, you people, this thing we realize we can make it better. And therefore, that's what we are upgrading to. But there is nothing like the expiration of a citizenship or something.
On the issue of payments upon replacement of the national IDs, Keitirima says Ugandans should learn to be responsible and keep their IDs safely to avoid paying the 50,000 fee of replacement, noting that government covers the costs for the first process, and renewal and replacement then becomes a responsibility of an individual.
Let me make this straight. When you're acquiring an ID for the first time, it is for free. Government has paid that for you. But when you lose an ID, me and you will regard it as negligence. And therefore, you're required to pay 50,000 to replace that card. Because you see, government has paid and said, go and have a national ID for free. Even when, as we are coming to renewal, people are not going to pay anything. This is what I want to make clear. But if you lose your national ID, really, why do you think it's not important that you pay that so that you feel that pain next time to hold your document so dear, close to your chest? That's why I'm saying, if you don't lose it, do you pay 50,000? Absolutely not. So meaning it is up to you to keep your card so dear, and I think it is okay that government cannot continue giving here and you lose, giving here and you lose. And even as parents, most of us out there, we are parents. But what do? Do you encourage your kids, even when you buy them these things for free, do you encourage them to keep losing them? Because at the end of the day, you're raising a generation that is so irresponsible.
He points out that a national ID is a government document given to an individual, and no one should forcefully take it away from an individual.
Absolutely no one. Because that's a government document. Actually, there is no one. You remember later there was a trend of money lenders who were withdrawing IDs from clients as part of collateral. You remember that? And government came out very clearly that there is no reason whatsoever someone must be deprived of their national ID. It's a government document that government gave you. And so if there is any enforcement of sort and any security personnel takes your ID and is not a police officer and you've not recorded a statement that I've deposited my ID here, it is illegal. Under normal circumstances, it is illegal. No one has the right to take your document in custody or forcefully unless you've given it willingly. So whatever that was happening, I may not be in position to discuss that because probably that is the role of security and police. Would maybe ask the other person in position to answer that, because that time, if maybe there was curfew and you're not allowed to move past this, and you get me moving past this, then why would you take my ID? Is the ID that made me move at night? Absolutely not. So you should be holding this person saying, you've moved past the curfew time. Arrest him and take him through as the law says, but not taking the national ID. It is completely illegal. This national ID is your document, and it's a government document. No one whatsoever. Actually, if someone took your national ID, you report to police like someone forcefully took my identity, because your ID is your identity. Your ID is everything. There's no way you're going to go to the hospital. There's no way you can go to the bank and transact. There's no how you're going to go to, all these sorts of things. Kids now joining school, joining university, employment, public service commission, all these things. You must present your ID.
On the issue of foreigners owning national IDs for Uganda, James says it is a very small number that doesn't need to cause alarm, and as NIRA they are trying to rectify it and will have limited chances of it happening again.
Whatever the lapses that could have happened, especially in the 2014 during the math registration, people could have been overwhelmed. There could have been a few glitches here and there. But at the same time, we should be proud that the same institution where NIRA falls under Ministry of Internal Affairs, we've again managed to capture those cards that were given illegally. And actually those cards are in custody with us. And Ministry of Internal Affairs, as it reported. So meaning we are still in control. And again, we are still working hard to make sure that if there were glitches and maybe connivances in the places we couldn't reach to supervise or whatever because of the math registration of 2014, it was massive. Managing 35 million Ugandans is not like any other ordinary job. So we did our best. And you can imagine, out of 17 to 18 million Ugandans who hold IDs, if you come up and you say, we got 10%, we got, was it 10,000 national IDs that are fake? You can imagine the percentage. It is so negligible, meaning these people is like a 0.00 something. We managed actually, the few that managed to beat the system is a small fraction, and we believe in the renewal. And that explains the same question you asked me, why are we even renewing? We are trying to say that even those people who could have penetrated our system, that we weed them out, that going forward we make sure we have a clean register of all the people who are Ugandans and who are eligible to have a national ID.
NIRA is set to start the renewal process for the expired IDs, and preparations are underway. This is Church of Uganda Family TV.